You're listening to Mind, Body, Home with your host, Sara Ann. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, regardless how you spent it. If you were surrounded with loved ones, I hope that you were in good company. And if you were alone, I also hope that the quiet time was cozy and comforting and not filled with sadness or distress. I know that the holidays can bring about a broad spectrum of emotions to the table, no pun intended. But either way, I hope you were able to find moments of peace and not running yourself ragged with the holiday shopping frenzy. I've become much more intentional with gifting. And so if you're still looking for a few special gifts or one of a kind gifts, I did create a soulful gift guide for your mindful friends and loved ones, or maybe even for yourself, right? I've included some books, insight decks, home decor, online courses, and much more, all of them intended to support the products, the services, and friends that I love and have supported me on my own soulful journey. It's a rather unique guide, and you can request yours by heading to the link in the show notes, and I'll be happy to email you a copy. Today, I'm going to walk you through a reflection process through the eyes of Feng Shui. This is something that I do with clients, and the season right now is very supportive of this reflection process. As we descend into December, we enter the watery winter season. So, metaphorically speaking, this is our time to turn inward and to turn towards introspection and reflect back on our life over the course of the past year. And I'm sure you probably already have a running list of goals ticking away in your head as we approach the new year. But without reflecting first, your goals may very quickly go to the wayside. So it's important that we take the time to really evaluate where we are, where we've been without clinging to them, right? The goal isn't to stay in the past or stagnant in the present, but in order to know where we really want to go, it's important that we take the time to reflect in this way to help nurture, ideals that are important to us. This is the ultimate gift in self-care is taking real you time to reflect on what is important to you. So before we dive in, let me just quickly explain what I mean by reflecting through the eyes of feng shui. Feng Shui is about correcting and allowing the flow of energy. Remember a few episodes back, I indicated that in Mind, Body, Home Alignment, my 12-week coaching program, one of the most misunderstood concepts or steps to properly applying the law of attraction is not being in the allowing mode or receiving mode for the energy or the desire or the whatever it is you want to manifest find you, right? There's not a way for it to come to you if the path is blocked. And clearing this energetic path essentially is feng shui. Feng shui is one process that gets us into that energetic alignment and flow. I've had many conversations with clients over the years who have, attempted feng shui in the past, but felt very overwhelmed by traditions and cultures and cures and what the heck is a bagua, right? Like there's a lot of terminology. And yes, at times there seems to be a lot of rules to follow. But after working alongside me, they quickly realized that feng shui is actually very intuitive. And because of that, they have found that they've already been applying feng shui to their own homes. But all concepts, cures, and traditions aside, feng shui is truly about aligning the flow of both your inner and your outer environment with intention and purpose so that your home becomes a supportive vessel in obtaining the life that you desire, right? It's a life that brings you more joy, more health, more success, more personal fulfillment. Feng shui can certainly help you materialize better health, more money, a romantic partner, or greater success. But it's important to ask yourself, Have you honestly been living in alignment with those dreams and aspirations for better or for more? Most likely, you have become set in routines like wake up, go to work, come home, make dinner, tend to family needs, go to bed, do it all over again. And if you're lucky, maybe you have some time and energy to work out or commit to a meditation practice once or twice a week. For so many, there's not enough time in the day or enough stamina to keep us going. This routine way of living is living by default, which leaves us depleted, unfulfilled, and a lot of times resentful and angry at ourselves, at others. It's like we've got to push that emotion of anger, fear, failure, resentment. We've got to project that somewhere because we certainly don't like to feel it for ourselves. However, when we live by design, we are clear on what is important to us and we prioritize that. I know that that is easier said than done. I have certainly struggled with this in the past and I still do at times, but I can assure you that it is possible. So, for this episode, it's going to be sort of an experience. I would like you to have a journal or a notepad and pen, and I'm going to offer you some questions that I'd like you to reflect on. And feel free to go deeper on these questions, but this should help you get the juices flowing. I know sometimes when I sit down to write or journal, I almost immediately get blocked. So, prompts are a really great way to get started. And if you're driving or you're out for a run, you're not in the position to sit down and write, click the save button on this episode and come back to it. Or even just casually listen and get your own mind sort of going on these questions and come back to it, sit down with it later. I'll also create a PDF version so that you can review them or print them out and do them at your convenience. Link will be in the show notes for you to go ahead and request these journal props. And again, this is such a perfect time to do this reflection as we enter this watery winter season. So I want to get started. I want to dive right in. Question number one is, when you think about your life from a holistic viewpoint, what is it that you really want to improve on? Out of the following, I'm going to list a few. Which of these are most important to you? Is it your health, your career or purpose, financial prosperity? Are you looking to travel more or pursue more creative passions? Are you looking to enhance or find partnerships, whether that's romantic partnerships or business partnerships? Are you looking for more recognition, maybe in your work or even in personal relationships, right? Like, do you desire to be seen more or do you struggle with being seen, being visible? Are you looking for more spiritual alignment? Are you looking to heal from or enhance family dynamics? Are you looking for a new circle of friends or looking to be more engaged in a community of like minded people? So these are the pillars that, when working in flow together, they create a more balanced and fulfilling life. And you can prioritize them in a list, or you can maybe just choose your top two or three that stood out. And once you have those, think over the course of this past year and think about how much time and energy you actually devoted to those that you think are important and that you want to improve on. Did you ignore these areas? Or did you do the opposite and obsess over them? Tap into the feeling that you're kind of experiencing right now as you're reflecting. And sometimes people experience sense of uncomfortable emotions like, guilt or shame or even grief, but it's okay. Allow it to come up and just simply be there with it. Just acknowledging that alone, knowing that you're taking the time now to use your feelings as a portal to explore them more and using them as a clue that your awareness of them is something that is unlocking a strong desire within you that wants change, right? So the first journal prompt is prioritizing areas of life that you want to improve on. The second part of that question, how have you been acknowledging those areas of life or ignoring those areas of life? And just being aware of what comes up emotionally, energetically, what kind of comes up when you ask yourself that question. And again, come back and journal more on this as you feel the need to, but also just, write first thing that comes down. Just kind of go with the flow. The second question is, what is it that you want to give? So, true fulfillment, a lot of times we want all these things. We want more money. We want the perfect marriage. We want to get pregnant. We want the fancy car. We want a home. And there's nothing wrong with wanting these. But those things do not equal happiness. I think we've all heard that many times. When we're looking for true fulfillment, that's really what is soul giving. That is what your spirit wants. And true fulfillment comes from giving. So, how can you live your dreams and do the things that you love in a way that also helps other people? This question really asks you to sort of expand your vision to something much bigger than yourself. And giving does not have to only relate to work or money, although it can. It can be ways in which to give back to your community, getting involved in programs that are important to you. It can be sharing other people's work. You don't have to create something new. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just be an information provider, right? Like I have this one friend, like if I need to know anything, I know she has the answer. She's always recommending people, services, websites. I mean, just a giver of information is so valuable and helpful to so many people. And part two to this question is, where are you already giving? This is the reflection part. And are you giving in a way that feels good? If so, certainly acknowledge yourself for that. But you could also be giving too much, right? Too much that you feel depleted and resentful. So this question also asks us to be really honest so that we can recalibrate and become better balanced. Giving is a way to open up to flow, but we also have to tend to our own well-being. So finding balance in giving is important. Okay, moving on to question number 3. Along the lines of purpose and giving, what are you passionate about? Okay, let your intuitive mind run wild like a child here, right? You might have to take yourself back to being a child or your childhood, right? What were your dreams? What were your hobbies? How did you pass time? And now ask yourself, are you making time for those dreams and hobbies and pastimes? If you're stuck in the rut of routine, you probably are not. For me, I loved painting ceramics as a kid. I still have some little holiday ones that I'll bring out every year. And now my kids, they're like asking, "Can we buy some of these? I would love to paint some." And I thought, yeah, I would love to dive back into painting these little figures, It was always so relaxing and peaceful. My mom would paint with me. She enjoyed it too. And so those are probably some of my most cherished times with her. So reflecting back on this as a mother, this is a way for me to tap back into my childlike creative side while also creating memories and cherished times with my kids, just like I did as a child. So, number 4 is make way for the flow using your home. How is your home blocking your energy? I want you to take some time to walk through your home. You can do this now, or you can, again, if you save this, be sure to do this. I want you to walk through your home starting at the front door and start going from room to room, floor to floor with a discerning eye. Really look at your space, the clutter, if there is any, the decor, the photographs, the art on the wall, the linens, the drapes, the floors, the colors. What do you see? Take your journal or a pen and paper and just look around. This exercise never ceases to amaze me and my clients because what comes up here is so profound. There are so many clues laying around your home as to what is blocking your flow. Again, when we live in routines, we don't see what's actually going on around us. We don't notice the lack of lighting, the burnout light bulbs. We don't realize how full our closets have become. We've gotten used to the squeaky floors, the dusty tops of our drapery and blinds, all over the course of a year. All of these rooms, decorative items, colors, or lack thereof are either contributing to your flow of manifestation or blocking it. So use this time to reflect on how you've maintained your home over the course of this past year. And hopefully this will motivate you to enhance your space, make any necessary repairs, clean and declutter so that you're paving the way again for those things that you desire, those things that you answered in the previous prompts, they can start making their way to you. Using your home as a playground is such a fun way to manifest. And journal prompt number 5, what are 3 actions you can take in the next 24 hours to start opening up to the flow? You've already prioritized your pillars, or you have your top 2 or 3. What actions can you take on those? If it's health, can you clean out your fridge and pantry, or maybe download the Yuka app to start becoming more aware of what's in your food or what's in your healthcare products? If you're looking for more spiritual alignment and maybe a community of like-minded people, can you do a simple Google search or a Facebook search for a group that feels aligned? Could you research events, communities, or churches in your neighborhood? If becoming more financially abundant, can you create a spending or saving spreadsheet and get really clear on where your money's going and start a budget to help you going forward? If that feels like too much of a lift, could you reach out to an advisor or a coach or a friend to help you get started? If you want to tap into your creative childlike side, go to the craft store and pick up some items and get going. If you want to give more, pick a charity to donate your money to or spend quality time with a loved one, or decide on a volunteer effort that you can commit to once a month. You can make a list of home repairs and schedule a day to DIY them or hire a handyman. Can you take your linens to the dry cleaners or buy some new ones to freshen up a space? There are so many ways you can take action, but do commit to taking at least 3. Action is required on your end, as is having clarity on your goals and desires. And then you're halfway there. The universe literally takes care of the rest. So those are my 5 prompts. These are great self-starters. Go back and listen to them. Really make time. Like put on some music, pour yourself a cup of tea or a glass of wine, and just let things sort of flow. This is a process I take my clients on very early on in the coaching container. And because it's kind of it's the starting point. We can't know where we're going unless we acknowledge where we've been and what action or lack of action we've been taking. So please take the time to do this. I think it will certainly benefit you. And I love the approach through Feng Shui. Feng Shui is not just about decluttering, rearranging furniture, and placing crystals throughout our home. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. It really is an art. It's an art that encourages us to explore our inner self. It's a tool for manifesting our deepest desires. And it's a practice. It's a lifelong practice that keeps us in the flow with the universe. And so if a Feng Shui consultation or alignment coaching is something that is of interest to you, please go to my website. You can find more information on those 2 services. Both are virtual offerings. I also have a lot of gifts and resources for my email subscribers, including the list of these 5 journal prompts that I just walked you through today with some bonus material for deeper reflection. And also my mindful holiday gift guide for your soulful friend. Again, these are services and products that I have personally used and absolutely love. Links to both of those are in the show notes. You can also go to my website, jadescottdesign.com, to request those to be sent to you. And lastly, if you're enjoying this podcast, I kindly ask for your positive review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're streaming. And as a thank you, I will send you a coupon code for 50% off any item in my shop, Shop Elemental. Just email me a screenshot of your review and I will send the coupon your way. You can email me your review at jsd@jadescottdesign.com. That's jsd@jadescottdesign.com. Until next week, my friends, I'm sending you so much love and gratitude.